this bitch because I'm really not. I don't know if you're cool with it, but are you cool with just like not taking this shit serious at all?
I am cool, bro. I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. You know how I am.
Okay.
I'm chilling.
All right. Well, we have officially started recording. Jared Velarde, welcome to the Art of Motherfucking Human podcast. It should be like episode 70. It's like 72, 73.
What's up,
Yeah.
Stefan?
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I got my window open. I'm feeling fresh. I got
Fuck
my
yeah.
candle. I got incense. I got
And you got your Bob Marley and your mannequins in the back.
I got
Damn, bro, you vibing back there.
yeah, low key there. I used to have them facing me, and I used to like go to sleep, and they used to be kind of just staring at me, and I mean, I really don't care, because I'm like,
If
these
they come
bitches
to
really
life, they
can't
come
do
to life.
shit.
Fuck it.
Yeah, these bitches can't do shit. Like
I
I'll
don't know, bro. They might. You just might see them twist their neck one night, and you're gonna be like, "Holy fuck!"
I mean, I got hands. I got hands, so I could defend myself.
Are you scared of stuff like that, like ghosts and things like that? Like if you're walking around your house like at dark in the dark, like, are you kind of afraid, or are you like super comfortable in the dark?
Uh, I mean, I feel like I'm in the middle. I
In the
feel
middle?
like I'm not uncomfortable, but I'm not also comfortable because I think it just depends on the day or how I'm feeling. Because sometimes, like, I just don't give a shit. I be out like I just don't care. And then sometimes you end up watching something, your emotions that day are like a whole different way and you feel different.
Mm-hmm.
And you just anything like scares the fuck out of you.
See, what I've noticed with myself is that like I've been like not even like I try to discipline myself this way, it just kind of naturally happened, but I'll like be in my house and it's dark and it gets late and then I'll turn off the lights to like come up to go to sleep. And then
Mhm.
I'll just kind of hang out in the dark and like I don't know, it's like before I'd get all scared, like I'd start visualizing like shit from like scary movies and shit, like something's gonna come under my bed and grab my feet and like all this
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
shit. But then now I'm just like, fuck it. Like if some shit's gonna come out to fucking murder me, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like I surrender
Yeah.
myself. And then
No,
like
I
ever
feel
since
I
ever
feel like
since then, I'm just like I've gotten way more comfortable in the dark. I'm like, wait, like there's nothing that's gonna come out, you know? Like it's just a dark room, you know?
yeah, it's just dark. I think like I don't know. I think it's just the illusion that makes us like I think everything like pop culture has made us be scared of the dark. Like,
Yeah.
because we can't see, we're not so it's like I mean, we play tricks on ourselves a lot. I do that a lot too. Like I feel like we all do, but it's like sometimes I just sit and I'm just like it's dark, but I don't care, like face your fears. Like I'm just like, oh,
Yeah. Do you ever do anything like purposely like that where you do something really frightening just to like get over it kind of thing?
oh fuck. I be just walking around sometimes, or I use the bathroom like just with the lights off, like at like in the middle of the night or something, and it's just
Ooh. So
shit
you're
like
like
that. Like,
fucking missing the toilet and shit?
yeah, and like low key, I don't know if I make it all the way in, like the whole pee in, but I don't care, because I clean it, I do whatever I can, but then I wash my hands and I'm like just looking at a mirror of darkness, like it's
Do you
kind of
ever
scary, but I don't care.
mm-hmm. Do you ever take showers in the dark? Have you ever done that?
Uh, yeah, a couple of times. It's kind of freaky. I think showers are different.
Showers
Let
are
me be
different?
honest. Showers, man, taking showers that'd be a lot different. I haven't taken one like in the dark in a long time.
Dude, that shit is crazy, bro. Like, I think it's actually a really like cool experience. Like, if you put on some like chill vibe, like super, like some type of music that just makes you feel really good, and then you
Mhm.
turn off the lights, and then for me, like I've done it where like I have the window open so you can hear like the things from outside, and it's
Mm,
almost like, have you ever done a deprivation tank,
no,
dude? Like, do you know what it is?
no.
It's pretty much you pay, you go to this room, and then within that room there's like a pod, and that pod is like probably about like 8 feet tall and however many feet wide, but basically big enough for like just about anybody to fit inside of it comfortably, and you're not going to be touching the edges of this tub.
Okay.
And then this pod actually closes on you, and the room that you're in is completely soundproof. And then the pod has water in it, and they put so much like salts in it that you actually just float without any effort. And then they warm it to like 98 degrees, so it's the same temperature as your body. And then so when you're in there, it's almost as if you have no physical body.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
What? I've
It's
never fucking heard of that before.
dude, like yeah, look it up. They have you seen Stranger Things?
I have, but not like that. Like I just kind of just grazed through it. I didn't really like,
You didn't really watch it all the way.
Yeah, I'm uncultured.
Nah, you bro, I'm the same way. It just so happens that I've seen that shit.
But no, honestly, that sounds something like you have to be naked, right, to do that.
Yeah, you get naked because I mean, you don't have to,
Or
because when
just like
you,
underwear.
yeah, you could wear shit like, but like the place I've only done it once. The place I went to was like in Orange County, and
Okay,
it was like a
that
pretty
shit
nice
would be
setup,
in
huh?
that shit would be in the OC.
They have them in LA too, though. But yeah, you pretty much would want to go naked because like you want to get the experience of like you lost your physical body,
Yeah.
like so you want it to be as natural as possible. And then you could, when you go in there, you could leave, there's like little lights that there's inside the tub, and you could leave that on, and then they have like little like meditation music, and you could leave that on. But like I turned everything off because I'm like, I want the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
So
Almost like doing freaking psychedelics or something, huh?
yeah, exact. That's literally some, I forgot where I saw. I think it was on Joe Rogan's podcast. They were talking about how like, yeah, you could get psychedelic effects by going into that tub.
Ooh, that's crazy. That's like I feel like people who meditate and just do stuff like like full on meditation, like I feel like you even get a hold of yourself that you have to with other people that have to like do psychedelics to do that or something, or like because not everyone's different. When people say psychedelics, this and that, oh my god, this and that, that they're not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Just like any medicine, just like it's not going to affect, just like we're allergic to things, our bodies are built different. We're all not all going to be affected the same way, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But I like meditating. Sounds like whatever you're talking about right now sounds pretty cool.
What do you do for your meditations?
I mean, I don't really do like. I guess we all have our own ways of doing it.
Yeah.
I kind of just sit. I play like either really soothing music that like brings me comfort, and it helps me like just focus on myself. But I usually just like sometimes just sit and I just stretch. As I'm stretching, I am like thinking and I have blank thoughts, right? And then I
Mm-hmm.
just start looking around my room, and I'm like, whatever's around my room, I'm going to use to help me succeed throughout the week. And I just look at everything, my computer, my hands, my coffee on the side, like, like my keyboard, my guitars, my shoes, my socks, my shirts. And I just talk to myself, and I talk to the objects around me, like if they were real or something. And so
Mm-hmm.
I that's how I do my stuff. And I just kind of like, I try to open up my whoever I am and be like, just try to be my own, like, just try to be one with myself. Try.
Okay. So it almost seems like it's a sense of like gratitude because like you're looking at everything around yourself, you're communicating to it. So is it almost like do you feel like a sense of gratitude after you do it too?
Yeah, yeah. Because I think like even if they're like objects, I think I don't know. We choose to put certain value, and I know how people make it seem like, oh, they're just objects, but at the same time, acknowledge that they're objects. Acknowledge that you aren't an object.
Mm.
Acknowledge your own power to empower that object. To
Mm.
overpower that and be like, this isn't going to take control, but I am going to take control of that and use that to my advantage so I can create more for myself. And that's what I
Mm.
try to do in here, because I just create. This is the room of creating in here. I just create everything in here. So I
Mm.
create my own peace, my own, just everything. I just try to create my own little space. So yeah, it's pretty much how it goes.
That's legit, bro. How many guitars you got in there? I see you got like an electric one on the wall, acoustic, and then another one on the ground.
Yeah, I got that red one up there is my bass.
Uh-huh.
I have a guitar that's hiding on the side. That one's like my main guitar. Then that's my acoustic, and then yeah,
Oh,
I kind
so
of want to
the
get
the
more.
one on the ground is electric?
Yeah, watch. Let me pull it up.
Okay.
Hold up. It's stuck. Okay, so this one, yeah, I never had a nice guitar or anything, but this one right here,
Damn. Is that
yeah,
like a teal color almost?
it's weird. It's kind of like it's I don't know. It's like a weird light, yeah, like light, super light teal, like a slight, you
Ah,
know.
that's
But
a
it's like,
dope color.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. Kind of fucks with your like eyes, but that's what I
Yeah.
got. Yeah,
Uh,
what I got.
what do you do? Like, I mean, that's like your creative space inside your room. Like, do you feel like it took you a while to just kind of manifest this like creative room? Like in term, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I
Uh
feel
huh.
like if you could look at my room now, like I got my piano, I got like a plant. Like I feel like slowly but surely my shit's kind of been coming to fruition. I have my
Yeah,
whiteboard over there.
yeah.
Like,
I have a
how
white.
did you because your room looks fucking dope. Like, how did that come to light? Was it just like over time you just collected things or what?
Yeah. I think I kind of just I like have I have like little I want to decorate it like a lot. I also have like LED lights in here that kind of just change color. So I just it creates like whatever color I want to pick that day. I just pick it and I just, just go by it. But yeah, it's just kind of stuff that I had around before and I just, put it up and I just to have something to remind me that or also I like having a like local art pieces and I just put them on the wall or like homies who've done work and I just put it on the wall.
Mm.
And like I have like a no smoking sign in here, authorized personnel sign in here. It's like up here, I have my whiteboard up here. And then I just got a bunch of BS on my desk right here. But
Do you do any painting or drawing and stuff like that?
ooh, man, I want to, but I've just never been good at it. It's not that I've never been good at it, but I just don't have the I can have the patience for it. I just have to really try, but I'm just like I'm just doing so much else that I'm like, fuck, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot. But I am very much a visual person. I think about visuals a lot,
Mm-hmm.
even if I don't quite know how to do everything the way other people can.
Ah, you're good, Jared. You're fucking beautiful, bro.
You are, you are.
How do you feel about psychedelics and stuff like that? I know we're just talking about it. Like, I'm actually like interested to get like people's perspectives on it. Like, do you
Okay.
feel like do you feel like psychedelics can be good for a lot of people? Do you feel like what's your
Mm.
opinion on psychedelics?
Um. Well, yeah. I think they can be pretty good for people, like how a lot of people think they're good, and that's the way it affected them, and that's them. But
Mm-hmm.
then again, it's like everything. Not everyone does the same things, and not everyone gets affected the same way or gets the same experience, and it might not be good all the time. And if people don't, like, say for example, me, reason I don't do them and I probably will never do them is probably because I already feel like I've been through enough psychological, I wouldn't say like kind of like trauma in a way,
Mm-hmm.
but like that made me like trip out. And I have this like disorder that even when I smoke weed, I get really bad panic attacks. And I'm just like, everything is like going at like a million miles an hour. And I'm just like, I freak out. And it's like, cause having a disorder that makes me like feel it's called depersonalization, derealization.
Mm-hmm.
And I I kind of I have like episodes sometimes during the day, random times, or maybe sometimes I don't have them in the day, but usually I have one a day or something, or like just randomly, but I forget, because I'm so busy doing things. But it's like imagine feeling like you're in a video game or like a movie and you are in there, or like like I'm watching myself do these actions, you know, or like a movie of just hands, you know, like Call of Duty, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Well,
like
like,
okay.
so it's kind of like that. And that's why, like, I remember when I first got it, and like I was in high school, and like it just struck me out of nowhere one day because I smoked a lot of weed, and I think it was like laced with some other stuff, and it was bad, and like I just remember having a bad panic attack, like anxiety attack, and it just, and then I just remember the next day I still felt like kind of like struck because I was stuck in the trauma of me feeling like, yo, I'm scared because I'm like so anxious and I'm like can't control myself. That all the trauma led onto the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day and the following days for like, I think the first time I got it, it lasted like a week where I was just in this weird place where I was like, dude, this nothing is real. You know, I was like, none of this is real. You know, it was almost like a psychosis in a way, kind of. But
Mhm.
I was still aware and I would still go to school and it was just scary, you know. And then I
Mhm.
remember it went away and then I was like, oh fuck, I'm back to reality, you know. and then and then I smoked a lot one time again, and then it kind of just happened again, and then it, like never went away from there. But it was like,
Mm.
and it's not that it didn't go away. It's just that I became so accepting of it, and I was just so anxious of my like who I was and like how traumatic that experience was for me that I kind of just I was like, I know I have to overcome this, and I know I have to do this, and I know it's all in here, and nothing that I am, you know, like physically or my health isn't. There's nothing wrong with my health, but I know there's something wrong with my mental health. I need to fix it, you know, and
Mhm.
I never told anybody honestly because I know like I never told my parents. I never told any of them because I thought I'm crazy or like, oh, you're a fucking crackhead or something, you know, like. But I'm just like, nah, dude. I just got freaked out by an experience, and that's what happened, you know. And that is the reason why I don't do them. But that doesn't necessarily mean the next person is going to be the same way, you know. Because like,
Do you still smoke weed though, or at all, or did you stop pretty
uh,
much after that second time?
I pretty much just stopped. But it's weird because I've taken I sometimes hit the pen. Sometimes rant like I'm talking about like maybe once every like 4 months and it's fine, you know. I think
Mhm.
it just depends like the amounts, you know,
Mhm.
but and what it is, but um and then there's like the CBD and the oil thing that you put under
Under
your
your tongue?
yeah, I've had that and that's different because my
Mhm.
friend had some and he, you know, and he explained the whole thing to me because he already knows how I am or how everything is with me. And like, he was like, yeah, try it. And I was so focused. Like, I was so focused. Like, when that happened, I was relaxed and focused, you know? But
Mhm.
I definitely just try to avoid it because,
Did you have
you
a
know,
good experience with the one under your tongue?
yeah, I think it wasn't even like, I just felt relaxed and focused. And it wasn't much of a in here type thing, you know? It's
Psychological thing? It was more of a body thing?
more like my body, and I was like so focused on what I was doing, and I was I I played guitar for like an hour straight without stopping, and I was just doing yeah pretty well.
Yeah,
But
dude, it's one of my friends. Cause I only smoked like socially, and I've only smoked like a handful of times. You know, it's I think the first time I smoked weed was it was like in November of 2019, so not even 2 years ago. And but it's just very periodical. Like I've never actually bought my own weed. Like I've never gone to the weed store and like bought my own stuff. But like I know
yep.
that there's a lot of different types of weed. You know, the sativa, the indica, and I know that I
Hybrid.
like, yeah, there's hybrid, and like you know, one has more of the effect of relaxing you, and then the other one has more of the psychological effects. So it seems like for sure
Hmm.
some people benefit more from like the body relax, and then some people want more of the like altered state of mind. You know,
Yeah.
but I do feel that to go into that altered state of mind, like I feel like that's definitely I feel like you have to be in the right environment. I feel like you kind of have to be in a pretty decent headspace to begin with. I don't
Hmm.
know, just I don't know about other drugs. But just
Yeah.
like any drugs in general, I feel like you kind of have to be in a good place, you know? Cuz in a way
Yeah.
it
Have you done
kind of
psychedelics?
Huh?
Have you done psychedelics?
No, the only
Yeah.
thing I've ever done is just weed and alcohol.
Yeah. Me
Um,
too.
but it's just interesting, and I know like back in the 70s or 60s or 80s, something like that, like they were doing a lot of psychedelic research, right?
Yeah.
And then at some point they stopped doing it because I think the government started labeling it as like this really terrible thing. And like, it's this whole cultural
Yeah.
thing. The culture tells us what's right, what's wrong, what's acceptable, what's not. I mean, look at now,
Yeah.
like fucking weed is like totally cool. But like you go
Yeah.
back 10
Yeah.
years ago, everyone would fucking talk shit on you or think you're a terrible person if you were smoking weed, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why, like, I don't know. And even now, like, I don't know what, even if I'm not like, I don't smoke weed or anything, like, I just think it's weird how, like, why the fuck do people like really want to criminalize it so bad and make it seem like it's such a bad thing? Or like, and it's me being Mexican, like, dude, around my family, like, they would always say like, don't like weed. Like, why is weed so like bad? Like, they like, why do they think weed is so bad? And it's like, when my drunk ass fucking uncle is right here creating fucking chaos, but the person that's
Yeah.
smoking weed is chilling, right? So like, why is it that, oh yeah, that's really fucking bad, this guy's a fucking pothead, fucking shaming on him? But it's like, but then there's this fucking, like my
This guy just
uncle.
kicking on the couch, just like just doing
And
his own little vibe, and then people gotta.
it's
Yeah,
stupid. I
dude.
think it's stupid.
It's I think that's that whole like subconscious thing. Like everyone's got these emotional attachments to certain ideas or particular things, and then that creates that hinders us as a society, as a culture, from being able to really come together and like try to help one another. Because the second I see you and I think that what you're doing is a terrible thing, like automatically there's this illogical part of me that can't really rationalize with you because I've already labeled it as terrible. Like
Mhm.
I'm not gonna name any names, but like I have a friend and like his mom found out that he did weed, and then it was just this crazy, like his mom had this episode of just so angry and all this, and it's just like, yo, like, yeah, it's just like you said, like alcohol,
Yeah.
like even my friend, he's like a really smart dude. He was like, Mom, like you drink fucking 3 or 4 cups of coffee every day. Like, you know how much, you know what that caffeine does to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, caffeine's not labeled as a drug per se, but like
Yeah.
caffeine could have some real negative side
Bro,
effects, especially if you're drinking that shit like 1,000 milligrams a day, you know?
it is a drug. You know why it's
Yeah,
a
pretty
drug?
much.
Like, I know it's a drug because, dude, like, I'm never gonna drink energy drinks again. I mean, coffee's coffee. It's just coffee. But
Mhm.
like, I don't know, dude. I remember I had a bang one time, and I would drink them before, and it was fun. I remember I had it one time, and this was the very last time I drank it. But I drank it, right, and I was lit as fuck, and I was just on it. And then there's also a come down,
Mm.
and the come down was so bad. Like, dude, I was all fucking, my emotions were all fucking fucked up, and I was just sad, and I was just like, I'm never gonna drink a bang ever again, or energy drinks in general.
Yeah.
But like, same with
Does
any drug, like,
does
have a
the Bang, does that have alcohol in it, or is it just like energy drink?
it's just an energy drink, so it just, that shit. Have you had one?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, good. Don't
You like don't try that shit.
yeah, because I understand why people like do them, but at the same time, it's just, I don't think it's healthy. Everyone's body's different, so everyone reacts to them differently. Like,
Yeah,
those shits are bad for you.
dude, it's like that's the thing, man. Like I feel like, because I feel like the older generations have problems with younger generations, and I feel like maybe that's not even inherent to like any particular generation. Like that, I don't know why. Like when people see new shit, they think, oh nah, like the old way is the better way, or like,
Uh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's not even that the new way's definitely better than the old way, but it's just like, I don't know. It's like, are you really thinking straight, or are you just saying some shit because you're like obviously super biased? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just like,
yeah,
I feel like we need to
yeah,
stop doing that so then we could actually just help each other, like, oh, you know what, son? Like, why is it that you want to smoke weed? Or like, what does it make you feel like? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just start asking fucking questions. Like, since when do you like pressure someone and tell them they're fucking stupid for doing something and then they actually change? You know what I'm saying? They're
yeah,
gonna want to do it more. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. No, I feel you on that. That's like, it all. I think it all goes down to like the same with like traditions and cultures with family. Like for example, like check this out. Like we're, being Mexican. You're Mexican too, right?
My mom's from Mexico, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, being like that, like I growing up, or let's just say like Latino based or like Latin based or something.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up like that as a Latino, I in the family, and it's just like certain things like, okay, you're supposed to do this and like you're supposed to do that. And if you don't do this, you're not gonna succeed. And if you don't do this, you're gonna be a failure. Or like certain things like I mean, not my family's definitely not like that, but there's definitely some weird like I wouldn't say like full on like racist stuff, but over time, like where they grew up and how they grew up was definitely different because of like, say people are from Mexico, my parents from Mexico, they would, like certain things were like said about certain like different kinds of like cultures and people, and it's like and it kind of creates this weird stigma and already like a weird thing behind them as a people, and it's like they need to unlearn those things just because like they heard it somewhere on TV. They like people make it seem like these people are criminals, or like these people are criminals, or like this kind of person over here are criminals, or like if you're gay you're betraying the family because you're not going to be able to reproduce and have and keep that chain going. So it's like it's not the 80s anymore. It's not the 90s anymore. It's not the early 2000s anymore. It's not the 2010s anymore. It is 2021 and things are changing by the fucking day. Like things are changing by the fucking day. So now things are changing like so much that we are the ones that are creating the new wave of the new ideologies, the new cultures, the new traditions. Like we're leaving all that behind and getting better and evolving because that's what we fucking do. We're not going to stay back and just be fucking chaotic and toxic, right? We're going to try to get better. And that's why I try to like tell my parents and my family and whatever, like, we got to stop these, like, either like, oh, racist or fucking homophobic stuff, or they're not really like that. They don't care anymore. Like, it's really not like that. But that's what I'm talking about now. Like, I feel like that's something that's going on in like the past couple years, and things are like changing a lot, you know?
Do you mean like you feel like the younger generation is starting to have more influence in the culture?
Yeah, I think so, because it's like at the end of it, we're the ones growing up in this new world, we're the ones like the new generation that are gonna, the new doctors, the new
The new
engineers,
everything shit.
you know. So we're the ones that we're paving the way for the new way to influence people, the new way to influence and the good and the bad, because just because we're gonna progress also means people might develop new bad influences too, because like same goes for like, damn, there's going to be other new possible ways to have like other technology, like higher technology means other ways that other bad people can take advantage of,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like just because we gotta like, yes, we're getting better, but there's still bad people that exist, like there's still bad people, you know.
Yeah. Um, I feel like, and this is the thing that honestly concerns me about like modern day culture is that I feel like with the media and like social media and like all forms of media, social media, the news, the commercials, books, magazines, like I'm talking about every type of media. Like I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people, from my observation, it seems like people are consuming so much media that their brain is just being overwhelmed with so many different ideas and so many different visuals of what people look like and what's attractive and what's not, and good,
Mm,
bad. Like,
mm.
I feel like, I don't know, like there's so much consumption that I do feel like there's a good portion of the population that's like, they don't even know who they are,
Yeah.
because they're just doing whatever their friends doing. They're just doing whatever they hear. They're just doing whatever's this or that. Like, that's the only concern. That's like probably my concern with regard to the way culture is going right now. I'm like how many people out there are legitimately thinking from themselves, You know, like how many
Yeah,
people have spent enough time by themselves to actually know what they think and like what's good for them, you know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
That's
No, I
like the
feel, I
concerning
feel
part,
you.
honestly.
It's like Twitter, like, or it's like any, like you said, any social media or anything, you know, because it's like, oh, you have to look like this to be attractive. You have to look like that to be. If you're not thin, if you're not this tall, if your skin tone's not like this, if your hair's not like that, if your face isn't clean, clear, if you don't shave, then you're not attractive. None of that is attractive. And it's like, I mean, attractive, someone is attracted to someone because they are attracted to them because it's their own personal way of being attracted to somebody, you know? But same way goes for like, I think people don't know how to think for themselves a lot. I mean, people can, but at the same time, it's like we're going social media. We see all these things, and it's like we don't have to agree with everything. Like for example, oh, yeah, I'm sure you've seen those like posts or something like, oh, if you don't post this, like to stop, either like the like BLM or like stop Asian hate or like Latino hate or like the kids in cages or whatever. If you don't post this, you have like you know you're racist or you're like
You're causing
you
the
know you're not
problem.
doing something right. And I'm like, can you bring me the rule book where it means that if I don't post this, that means I'm a really fucking bad person. And it's like, but you post all these things, and then in person I see you, and you don't. You're kind of a dickhead in person. Like, how does that work? You know? And it's like,
Hmm.
so that means if I don't post anything, then I'm the bad person because I know everyone's watching me there, and I'm putting on a mask. That means I'm the best person, right? But it's like, it's just learn to think for yourself, and it's like, there's still a lot of judgment that happens on social media just because of that, you know. And
Hmm.
it's like, I'd rather just keep my personal. I mean, you know, I kind of post dumb shit sometimes because I'm stupid and I'm just like, I just like
You're a
making people laugh.
goofball.
You know, I'm just crazy. But like, even then, like, I see people like just it's okay to have your own ideologies. You know, like it's okay. Like no one's telling you that this is whatever you want to do is like the wrong thing. You know, but obviously there's obvious wrong things. But like you can dress whatever way you want. You can think whatever you want. You don't have to go just because there's a post that said if you don't post this, then you are racist or something. You know, like that. Like I hate when I see stuff like that, and I'm like who the fuck does this? I get it, and a lot of it is super performative, and I'm like, you only you only want to be a good person because people are watching you. But when they're not watching, what are you going to be doing? You know. So it's like
Yeah.
that's why like I try not to. I'm very much not, even though I'm young and I'm part of like Gen Z, and I'm like I'm definitely trying not to be like that and trying to really just try to think for myself. You know, like what do you know? You scan everything around you. You scan the world, and it's like scan what's obviously wrong and what you should fix in your own life because you make your own rules to your own reality. You know,
Hmm.
so it's like how am I going to do that? You know.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and that's kind of something I've been talking about too. Is like, it's like everybody. Like, I feel like there's a part of everybody that wants to do something good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like
Yeah.
everybody has a certain part of them that they want to help the world. They want to see less of the violence. They want to see, you know, they want the planet to be safe and all these things. But it's like, I feel like what used to happen to me and maybe it happens to other people too is like you feel overwhelmed because there's like a ridiculous amount of chaos going on around the world. You know, even like there's
Yeah.
chaos everywhere. There's chaos within our own families. There's chaos. You can go to the store. I mean, there could be chaos anywhere. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's that, you know, I've been watching this video on this Shaolin monk and he talks about self mastery. You know, self mastery is basically is when you get to a level where there's a certain part of you that is stable, you
Yeah.
know? When
Yeah.
you could create a sense of self mastery where there's a part of you that always has a certain level of stability,
Mm-hmm.
then you have, I think, a way better level of being able to help the planet. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because if you don't have any sort of stability within your own self, it's like how far are you gonna get how far are you gonna get before you're gonna break down again? You know what I'm saying? How far are you gonna get before like a new idea gets infiltrated into your mind and then now you don't see things objectively again? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why it's so important to like build some type of macro perspective, you know, and like this Shaolin monk, when I was watching his video, like one thing that he talks about is like, you know, think about it. Let's say you live this whole life, then you die, and let's say you know your energy is going to be transferred into something else, and
Mm-hmm.
just say there's another human and they get to live another whole life, and then let's pretend that you just keep living the life over and over and over and over. Like eventually you're going to realize that, oh shit, everything I get in this lifetime, eventually it's going to go away. The car that I buy today, eventually I'm gonna die and it's not gonna be in my possession anymore. The house that I own today, eventually I'm gonna die. It's not gonna be in my possession. So basically, the idea is that like everything that you get will eventually go. And when you
Yeah.
realize that you will never actually be able to hold on to everything, then you kind of develop this like deeper sense of existence. You know,
Mm.
like, oh shit, like it's not about like just attaining more. It's about being self-sufficient. It's about being able to provide for people. It's about finding that stability, because
Mhm.
eventually everything you ever get will go away. So then
Yeah.
you have to think so macro level that you're like, man, how can I leave an impact that's going to go beyond my existence? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Because like
Mm-hmm.
me buying nice shit today doesn't mean anything, when I die. If I
Yeah.
buy a badass watch today and a badass car, like I die tomorrow, like that does nothing really.
People like they need to worry about, or like people want to think about your personality or like how you were in terms of like your fucking watch. Like people want to remember you,
Exactly.
not your watch. Like
Yeah. Like I think people, and don't get me wrong, I'm new to this whole concept, but I
yeah.
think all of us would benefit, at least the majority of us would benefit to dwell in like super, super macro thinking.
Oh yeah.
Like super, super macro thinking, like shit, okay, I'm gonna die one day. Like everything's gonna keep going. I happen to live in this brief moment of history. The planet's been around for billions of years. Like think so fucking macro that the littlest of things become so trivial. You're like, oh man, I was tripping dick over that. You know, you know what I'm saying?
That tripping dick.
And then like all the positive shit, you're like, fuck, like man, everything I should do should be towards something optimistic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because all the dumb shit that I ever do is never gonna equate to everything, and it's just a moment in time. You know.
Yes. I feel you
Uh,
on that.
you know what I'm
That's why,
saying?
like, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. That's why I'm like, that's where I'm at right now. Cause I'm like, how I've been taking a long time to like drop music and stuff, and I haven't really done it in a long time. I've been working on a lot, but I haven't like dropped anything, or because I feel like it's not ready yet or something, and I need to take my time to do it. But it's like, how am I gonna make something unforgettable, like completely unforgettable? Like this is like it's gonna leave a mark and it's gonna be unforgettable forever. So it's like, how am I gonna do that? It's like, if I tell myself I want to make something unforgettable, or I want to create an unforgettable like aura around me, or like whatever it may be, like you have to have patience. You got to nurture, you got to like take care of it, you got to like take it step by step, not just, oh, it has to happen, oh, I need to make it be like it's already unforgettable, no, I can do it, nope. But you're forgetting the other steps to make it. Just like making food or whatever, like if you miss a step, it's not going to be the food that you're trying to make. So it's like, I'm trying to make something, and I have to take the steps that are required for me to make it. So I'm gonna have the patience for it, and then it's gonna be how I've always imagined it. And like that's why I'm like, so if that is gonna what people will remember, and like it's always gonna be there in people's minds, and it's gonna like be striking, not just to me, but unforgettable for myself, but also for people. And it's like, wow, and they're always gonna be thinking about it, and it's gonna be more of just like a watch or something, where it's like it's always there, but you're gonna forget it about it soon, and it's like you remember the memories about like this guy said, or like a certain song or something, and it's always there with you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be in your head all the time, you know. And that's what I'm trying to create.
I feel it, bro. And I think you're doing good, bro. Like, I think being patient is like the best thing you could ever do, you know? Cause, like, what's the benefit of you putting out a song today, but you don't feel good about it? You feel like you rushed it. You, you know, like, I feel like part of it is that you have to feel good about what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, there has to be a
yeah,
part of you that's like probably, you know, you could be super fucking afraid because maybe you say some vulnerable shit during this song,
oh
but
yeah,
like you should also feel so excited because you know you poured your heart into it and like fuck, dude, I think this shit could actually hit some people, you know? I
mm-hmm,
think this shit could actually resonate. Like that's kind of how I feel about pretty much almost anything I post nowadays. Like
mm-hmm,
if I sometimes because before I used to like I have a Twitter account for the podcast and I
mm-hmm,
would just like post like ideas that I have. And before
mm-hmm,
I would always tweet it. But then eventually, and then I would post a lot of shit before. But
mm-hmm.
then eventually I'm just like, man, like I don't care to even because sometimes I would post shit and then my mind would be lingering as to like it'd be in a all these voices would start running in my head. You know, like
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
fuck, I just posted that and like this
uh,
and this. So then I'm
mm-hmm.
like, no, like I'm gonna post shit where I feel like zero, like I feel so good in it that like I'm not worried about it. If anything, I'm nervous because I expose like my vulnerable self, but I'm not gonna
Yeah,
post some shit that really has no significance for me. Cause otherwise, the way I think about it sometimes is like, otherwise I'm just adding to the mess of information that's already out there.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
if I'm not gonna give people clarity, if I'm not gonna give people inspiration, if I'm not gonna give some type of positive energy, then like why am I doing what I'm doing?
yeah,
Like I tend to like dwell in that. And like sometimes it could be from a completely selfish reason. Like maybe man, I just feel like being a goofball and I just feel like posting some shit about me and like man, like I just haven't posted some shit in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be for a very selfish reason too. Doesn't
yeah,
have to be anything crazy. But
yeah.
I do feel like there has to be something, you know, that there has to be
Substance.
something, there has to be substance to it, you know, because otherwise I could just write a note in my phone and I don't have to share it with anybody. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like I can edit a video and add music and I can make a TikTok, but then just download it to my phone and I don't have to share it. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yep. You
It's
don't
just
have,
like
yeah.
it's just like so many artists. Like how many big artists have a fucking vault of like songs that never released to the public?
Ooh,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
the scary thing. Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's kind of the
When you
thing
think
that
about
I've
it, all these
been.
big
Huh?
artists. When you think about all these artists, like honestly, a lot of artists have songs that no one will ever hear, honestly. And it's kind of like I just think you gotta accept that, you know, or there's like I'm sure it's like it's kind of like maybe it's their way of it being a diary in a way, kind of, you know. It's
Yeah,
like maybe they just made it just so they can listen to it themselves, so that
exactly.
they can always go back to it and remind themselves, you know, whatever it might have been, you know. And it's like it's a sonic how would you say this? A diary, but sonically
Hmm.
in the shape of sound.
Yeah, and then maybe you're like, shit, I don't want to post this today. Like it fucking frightens the fuck out of me to expose this part of me today. So you just keep it to yourself. But then
Mm-hmm.
maybe 5 or maybe even just a week down the line, you're like, ah, fuck, like I think people would actually fucking love this. And then
Mm-hmm.
you end up changing your mind and then you release it. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think there's a point in releasing some shit when you just know it doesn't feel like the right moment. Like just to put it simple. You know, if it
Yeah.
doesn't feel right, why would you put it out? That's
Yeah.
like, you know?
Yeah. No, I feel you. That's why I've been like, man, I have so much like that I've been trying to write down, and I just kind of write it down in my head, and I feel like I need to write it down on a piece of paper because I feel like after this project I'm gonna have like freaking like gray hairs or something because you know I know like people don't think like you have to if you're not stressing on your work then you're probably not putting in the work maybe you know like it's your work, it's your job, like you whatever you want to work on and you put all that hard work, it's going to pay off, right?
Hmm.
And I'm like you said, I'm not going to put out something if I don't feel comfortable or like I'm not happy with it because at the end of the day I made that for me because I liked how it sounded and I like what I said and I like what I wanted to do and I like how I was expressing it. So like I owe it to myself for it to fulfill the full happiness, you know, the full happiness experience, you know, not just
Mm-hmm.
half happiness. Like I'm half happy with it. I knew it could have been better, but I'm half happy. You know, you just got to be fully happy and create that for yourself. Like that's why I'm like, man, if I'm not happy with this, like, you know, I don't want to like go back and be like, we could have done this differently, you know, or I could have done this, or I could have done that. But it's like, just accept that you're rolling with this and to think about it like, man, these songs might be like really old to me and I've heard them plenty of times, but it's still going to be new and fresh to everybody else because they've never heard a single note from it, you know? So it's like, or a single word or anything. So it's like, it's okay. It's okay, you know? It's like, I have to be okay with it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just think it's like building a house. Like you're going to get tired of it and it's like, oh, dude, we got to do this. Oh, we got to go back. We got to make this. We got to keep building, keep building, keep building till the house is done. And now the house is done, and now you can live in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can't live in it if it's not done yet. You know,
Yeah.
I can't live in that. I can't live with that project if I'm not done with it, and I know I'm not done. You know,
Yeah,
like
because then you put it out and then you're just gonna be thinking about how fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna, it's just gonna be a bunch of shit like that. It's
yeah,
just you're building a habit. Like you don't want to build a habit to do something half-ass,
yeah.
You want to
No, that
build a habit to like, do some shit really good, be graceful with the process, be patient with the process, all
yeah,
those like positive behaviors. Cause that ultimately, I think we talked about this last time, like it's all about the process anyways. It's
process.
like you make one piece today, that piece is only leading you to the next piece, and then that piece is leading you to the next piece. So it's like
Mhm.
everything is just a cultivation for the next moment. It's like the second you start to skip steps in the game or taking shortcuts, you're only building a negative behavior for that next piece that you do. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? But
Yep.
like, I feel like if you want to go in the trajectory of just getting better, feeling happier, feeling lighter, like you have to be graceful with the process from the get go. Cause otherwise,
Mhm.
you're gonna end up like me, who fucking ran for 10 years with terrible form, and I got injured, and then I came back way too early, and then now my body's just twisted up, and it's probably gonna take me like 10 years for this shit to decongest.
No.
Like that's
Yeah.
legit what happened to me, bro. And like,
Oh.
and I'm cool with it because I mean, I've just gotten myself in the mindset where it's just like, it's just part of life. You have the
Nothing.
difficult times and you learn from it. But I mean, I could say from my place, I went 10 years of running, and sure, I ran some pretty fast times, but like, what does that mean? Like, I ended up just congesting my body, fucking up my psyche, and like just having terrible mobility. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
But what I'm saying, so it's just like you have to be patient. Like I think patience is like, there's so many different ways that you can look at it, but like patience is like the name of the game because it's like, what is time? The only ever reason you want to rush is because you're perceiving that time is like some shit's gonna end and like an opportunity is gonna disappear. It's like, yo, there's an
infinite.
infinite amount of opportunity. Second off, you could die at any given moment. So you trying to rush, oh, I'm trying to rush to work. I might just fucking crash, die, and then where'd all that rush? Like, what was that all for?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
It's like I think that's kind of going back to that self-mastery thing I was mentioning earlier. Like when you self-master yourself, when you build that macro perspective, you have no reason to rush. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like I think it's inevitable that you're still gonna feel pressure, and there's gonna be moments where you have to execute on something, but you surrender yourself and you almost go into this like autopilot mode, right?
Hmm,
Like,
hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, there's the reason why Formula One drivers could race that fucking fast and have so much immense amount of pressure coming from their team principal and from the fans and all that, but they still execute because
Yeah.
they say fuck it. Like, if I die, I die. So I think
Yeah.
I think acceptance of death is like one of the biggest liberations because then there's like, what is there to fear?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like your demeanor with life. Like you choose it's your demeanor, you know, your own demeanor of like fearless. Be fearless with what you're doing. You know, if you know they're you're doing this for something higher or whatever, like a higher thing, you know, something more than bigger than yourself, you know, it's like I'm trying to achieve this for myself, or I know there's risks along the way, but I can't be comfortable, I can't be comfortable. And, so it's like, if I'm comfortable, then I'm just always going to be there, or like I think I was watching a video. I don't know who posted it. It was somebody, I forgot who it was, but it was like saying, oh, being like a versatile musician or something, right? Or like having all these different like, play all kinds of music, right? So it's like, for example, I can't label myself a certain way. I have like a certain sound, I could say, but I just there's just so much music that you listen to, and there's no rules to it, Like this rapper, like I feel like people there is like labels that are put on people, but I feel like it's like, man, we listen to so much, and we listen to all kinds of music all the time. So why not? You can literally make it if you want to, like there's no like way of you like there's you're the only one stopping yourself from it, If you want to make a fun song to make, to dance, do it. Like if you want to make a song to cry, you can do it, or you can make whatever you want to, because you can. If you want to do it, you can,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like having that approach, like you can just do whatever you want because there's no rules. There is literally no rule book that means this, that these are the rules. This is how you're supposed to live your life. No, you make your own morals, but then again, there's like and as a whole, like the bad ones, obviously. But like, I feel like if you take a hold of individuality and you take a hold of yourself and realize there's a lot of potential I have. And if I don't have the patience, if I don't, if I don't put in the hard work, if I don't have the patience, if I don't use all that and use everything around me, all the energies around me, and just direct it to what I'm trying to do, then I'm not going to achieve it. And I need to focus. So it's like, man, sometimes we just got to really just take a hold of ourselves and like reevaluate life and reevaluate relationships, reevaluate everything, and just start fresh again and realize that it's okay. You can do better, It's okay. You can communicate. It's okay, You can
Mm-hmm.
communicating will bring clarity. It'll clean up relationships, it'll clean up everything. So it's like you got to do the things that you're scared of in order to not be scared.
Mm-hmm.
It's like facing your fears. You just got to do it sometimes. Like I'm scared of a lot of things actually.
Bro, I'm scared of everything.
Me too. Yeah,
Bro, like that's one of the other things that I dwelled in for a while. Is the idea of like fear. You know, because it's this is the dilemma with using words, right? And is like is for real. Like the thing about words is that I can say something, but the opposite could also be true. But I may just be saying this thing because that's what I feel right now and that's what I want to bring awareness to. We can
hmm
talk about the idea of being fearless, and we already just said that. Be fearless with your life. But then me and you could talk about how we have a lot of fear. So it's like it's this weird like dichotomy that both things always exist,
hmm
you know?
hmm
And
hmm
so it's like be uncomfortable. If you were to only be comfortable, I think it's inevitable that eventually you would become uncomfortable. Just think
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it. Like I
yeah.
think there's certain principles in our existence that happen whether we decide it or not. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like
Yeah.
I was talking to my best friend. I was like, "Yo, like if I give you all the money in the world and I give you all the resources on the world, maybe for a week, a month, maybe a year, you'd go out, you'd travel everywhere, you'd buy all the shit you ever wanted. But there's gonna come a point where you actually get bored of having everything and anything you could ever have.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a point that you're gonna realize that like fuck, yeah, you know what? I kind of feel like exercising. I walk and I feel tired. Like I don't know, it doesn't feel
hmm
good. Like
hmm
or like, oh, you know what? I've been eating blueberries and chocolates and this and that. Like I feel kind of gross. I'm gonna start eating healthier. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Like I it like and this is something that I'm passionate about because I feel like before I fucked up my psyche by having all these like rigid perceptions of things. But I
Mhm.
really, really think that if you just give your body what it needs, which is really just like potable, healthy water, some healthy food, a place to sleep, I think all the other positive shit will just kind of, you will naturally need to do it. Like, you
Mhm.
get what I'm saying? Like, if I give you all those resources in the world, you will eventually get to the point where you're just like, man, I think I'm just gonna start taking care of the planet. I'm
Yeah.
kind of sick of just having all this shit and not having to work for it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just like, man, like I feel like a lot of people need to just like a lot of us just need to take care of our mental health, our physical health, and then
Mhm.
all the shit that we want, like it'll just happen because we're gonna need to make it happen because fuck man, I see my mom struggling. I love her so much. I'm gonna help her get out of it. You
Yeah.
know, like you see the struggles and you'll naturally like by the power of love, which I know maybe sounds a little strange, but like seriously,
No,
like by
I
the
believe you.
you know what I'm saying? By the power of love, you will legitimately start to do all these these, you know, put in the hard work. Like you will do it eventually. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of people judge themselves and like, man, why am I so lazy? Or like, I want to be like that guy. Or like, you know, you start perceiving all these different things and then you just fuck yourself. And then you start like working hard by banging your head against the wall. But then you fuck yourself like I did by running 20,000 miles in a shitty way, you
Fuck.
know? So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is that like from my experience is like there's two different ways of doing hard work.
Mhm.
There's one way of doing hard work where you're not being mindful, you're not taking care of yourself, you're banging your head against the wall,
Mhm.
and um and like yeah, you're probably like it's just you're hurting yourself, like really
Mhm.
hurting yourself. You're not feeling lighter, you're not feeling happier. But
Mhm.
then there's the other part of working hard where it's like, man, I busted my ass today, but then I could fall asleep so fucking good because I feel so good about how I busted my ass and what I did it for. You know what I'm saying? Man, I fucking busted my ass today, but I literally helped a bunch of people and like I felt fucking great. And like, man, like I came home and like I ate a fucking ice cream and watched my favorite Netflix show. You know, like
Yeah.
I busted my ass and then my daughter gave me a hug and she smiled at me. And like, you know what I'm saying? There's different
Yeah.
forms of busting your ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could bust
Yeah.
your ass and then get to your fucking couch at the end of the day and then still
Yeah.
feel disappointed in yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Still feel like, man, you're a fucking pile of shit. And then you go back to that same toxic routine the next day.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah.
It's
No. No.
like,
I feel you. I just think like you carry your own like your own energy with what you're doing. I think so. It's like if someone says like, "Oh, walking in that area is bad," and I'm like, "No, it's not, because it's not bad for me," or like, "Oh, um, doing this is like, or going out every weekend with your friends is bad," and I'm like, "No, it's not. I have fun and I'm fine and I take care of my stuff. Or like, this is bad or this is bad or this is good, and it's like, no, it's not for me. So it's like same thing. It's all just you have your own individual body, your individual mind, and you have your own way of thinking and taking care of your body. But there comes a time where I feel like even oh, we might be comfortable, but sometimes it's okay to be comfortable, because we may need it, like rest.
exactly.
We need rest. If your body's fucked up, you need rest, or else you're not gonna get better so you can be more than what you want to be. And it's like same with being uncomfortable. It's like, oh, if you're so stressed on being like, yes, I got to be uncomfortable and like got to be working all the time and doing this, there come a time that you'll put so much distress on your body, you'll have so much stress in your body, you're going to be in such a like your body's going to start feeling it, your mind's going to start feeling it, and you're going to be uncomfortable. You're actually going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to actually grow. You're just going to hurt yourself. And I feel
Exactly.
like you just got to have the perfect balance. Like you'll know, like you'll have your balance of like doing things, because there's really no rules, but you create your own. But if you want to live a decent, balanced, healthy life, I feel like it's definitely about the balance. I think, honestly, I think it's
Bro,
about balance.
and you know what's the crazy part too? That like, because like this past year, like I've just like you see me here in my room by myself. Like, dude, I've spent like a ridiculous amount of time by myself, and like my body was so congested that like even just to like do the most simplest of tasks, like it was like I'd have to do it super slow because if I try to do it fast, like I'm only congesting myself more. It's kind of this weird thing. It's very hard to explain.
Oh yeah.
Um, but
No,
man, where was I gonna go? Um, I was like super excited about this point.
fuck. I hate
Let
that.
me actually. I need to go to the bathroom. Do you mind if we do this real quick? If I go to
Yes.
the bathroom real quick.
I have to pee too,
All
actually.
right, sounds good. I'll see you right
All
now.
right. I feel like we got back at the same time.
Damn.
Yeah. Got some cranberry juice. Yeah.
Damn, bro, you sponsored or what?
I want to. Shit. I want to.
I absolutely love cranberry juice. That's like, I
Me too.
fucking love it, bro. Like that taste, like that bitterness, but like sweetness.
It's like
Ah,
once you get past it at first, like when you first start getting into it, like it's kind of like, oh, like you still have that, but then once you like get it, once you get the pureness of it, you're like, damn, I'm feeling all this shit right now. Shit, you know.
what about grapefruit? Are you about that?
I like grapefruit. I I,
Okay.
I understand some people don't like it. I fuck with grapefruit. I think like realizing that how fresh certain things are, you just can't find it, you know? You just can't find it anywhere else. It's its own unique thing, you know? Like there's no other thing that's like grapefruit besides like any something else that's citrus, but grapefruit is its own thing. A mandarin is its own thing. An orange is its own thing. A banana is its own thing. Like I feel like that's like the beauty of it, I think. I think.
Their own uniqueness.
Mhm.
I feel
Like
like
this.
grapefruit's like it's like I there's parts of grapefruit that I like grapefruit. Just like if I just got a tiny little like thing on my tongue of grapefruit, I'm like, oh man, that's bomb, you know. But
Yeah.
like when that shit's just hella fucking bitter and there's like no water that kind of dilutes it, it's
Mhm.
pretty overwhelming. But
Mhm.
I think it's maybe something you kind of have to build up to as well, right?
No, I feel you. No, yeah, I do. There comes like little taste, but even like it's like fight with the punches, you know. Keep going. I'm like this shit's kind of like better, but I'm
I
like,
gotta get back into it. Maybe now I would like appreciate grapefruit more. I don't know.
me too. They're pretty thick. Not gonna lie. Grapefruit's good. I fuck with it. You just gotta peel the fucking pieces off.
Oh, the skin, like that white layer that's over it.
Yeah, and then just eat the inside.
Okay. Is there sweet grapefruit? Are there some grapefruits that are sweeter than others?
It should be. I think there should be. I don't think there's like one kind of grapefruit. I think there should be.
True.
Yeah.
That's
Mm,
true.
mm. But probably honestly, I fuck with citruses though. Citrus is good. It's good for you. You know,
True.
it's fruit.
Where do you go to buy your groceries?
Be honest. I normally go to Walmart,
Oh, okay. I got you.
But here's the thing. My mom goes to you probably heard of it. It's called Super King.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I've been there before, but like I remember going there and they have because it's like Asian based, like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of their stuff, but it's like they have just a bunch of everything. But bro, they're like produce, like all their freaking fruits and vegetables and everything are just like they're pretty top notch, not gonna lie. They have a lot of just random stuff that you just can't find anywhere else, and their fruits and vegetables are just pretty freaking good, not gonna lie.
Which one does your mom go to? Like what
One
location?
Pomona, I think. It's on Indian Hill, I think.
Ah, dude, that's literally the one I would go to. Cause you've been at my brother's house. That shit's right off of
Yeah,
Indian.
that one. Yep. I was like, that's right. I passed by there earlier. I was on that street.
Oh, okay. You
Mm-hmm.
live in Pomona, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna close my window for a second. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
There's music playing.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah,
Oh,
that's just
you know a concept that I've been thinking about?
what?
And I mentioned this like on a podcast I did with my friend Sierra, like the idea of being yourself, because that's like a pretty like I feel like that was kind of something I heard growing up, like, oh, just be yourself. You hear that all the time, Like, well, I mean, like you hear it like in
What am
moments, huh?
I? It's like, who the fuck am I?
Yeah, exactly. Like I was talking to my friend Sierra, I'm like, yo, like I really think like being yourself is something that actually requires discipline and it takes
Mhm,
like you have to be determined on it. You know what
mhm.
I'm saying? Because it's so easy to like deviate from being yourself, because I feel like the
Yeah,
second you're trying to impress people, the second your ego just gets big enough to just kind of take over you, like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the second you start not being yourself. And like it's just like that thing I just mentioned, like whatever you practice, it becomes a behavior. So it's
yeah.
like, man, like that's like the thing that I've been learning on my journey. It's like it takes certain level of discipline, patience, and like determination to actually be yourself.
It
Like
does. It does.
because like
It
when you have that voice where it's like, ah, bro, like this, like dude, like oh man, you look so cool in this picture. Like if you share this shit, man, like you'll be so cool. Like like moment or like even when you're hanging out with friends and like I used to do it a lot, and I even did a podcast where I'm like, I said like, why am I always trying to be right? Because I
yeah,
had this like behavior inside of me where like somebody would say something and I try to say some shit that was like better than that, or like I try to prove
yeah,
them how I'm like I got a better shit to say,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. And it was like this weird behavior that I think I've had like my whole life, but it was like that was taking me away from being myself. You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because I think like everyone's true self, I think it comes from a very humble place. Like when
Mhm.
you are yourself, you're not trying to impress anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like when you are yourself, you make a joke because it's funny to you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like I don't know. It's like when you act super goofy, like you're being a goofball because it makes you feel like you're kind of
It,
laughing at yourself.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. No, I feel you.
It's
That
like
it's
this
like
weird thing.
I feel you. I feel you. Fuck, I was gonna say something, but I just totally forgot. But it was like in that sense, like of that. Oh yeah, no, where you're like trying to be right all the time. I think like I've been that person, um, probably because like I felt like for a while I wasn't that person, and then for like a split second I was that person for a while, and then I stopped again. But it's like because I was never right. I thought like everyone kind of like deemed me like I was always under the shadows and I was never really appreciated, and I just thought I wasn't. No one cared about me, and then people started caring about me, and I'm like, well, shit, and then I started being like having that leader mentality, and somehow like it was just going there, and then it got toxic for a while, and I stopped myself from it, and I'm like, yeah, it's not like that,
You
and
feel
it's
like your
like,
ego is getting too big, kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, and I feel like the best things like come when you're like accepting that you're wrong so you can actually fucking learn from people, you know? And I'm
Yeah.
like, if you break that down, like, dude, I don't know a lot of things, but this person knows a lot that they can teach me. And if I know and they tell me a bunch of things and I get surprised by it, I gotta take some notes, dude. Like, you know? And it's like same thing with me with them, right? But it's like you just gotta break that wall and just be okay with being comfortable with it, you know? Cause like I feel like it becomes such a like weird thing. And I feel like it happens with a lot of people, you know. Happens with a lot of people, but it even happens, you know, if you might not like somebody, let's just say that you might not like somebody, and it's like you want to do anything you can to make that person like just make that person feel bad or something. Let's just say that, you know? And it's like, but for example, you're just with someone you just met or something, you know, right? Or just people, and it's like there's people there, everyone is gonna teach you something that you'll remember all the time because they
Mm-hmm.
know something that you don't know. And as long as you accept that and you accept that you're not always gonna be right because you're not, I feel like that's when you're gonna grow the most. Like, you know, and
Yep.
like accepting like and I thought it was the other way around. Like, oh dude, if always like trying to be right and if I'm always being the leader and always, you know, doing the thing that's gonna be the leader and just do it, like I'm gonna grow it. I'm gonna be like higher. It's not how it works. And I thought that's how it was in like college, even not even college, but like part of it and like other times. And I just thought that's how it was. But then I was like, no, that's not how it is.
Yeah.
You know, I did grow a lot, but I kind of felt bad in the way I was growing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm kind of growing this way where I'm supposed to grow straight, not like leaning the other way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, maybe just drop your ego. I mean, you can't completely drop your ego because it's always gonna be there. But if
Mm-hmm.
you just relax it and be like, accept that you're not always gonna be right, and you have so much more to learn from someone, and it's gonna create a better friendship, a better whatever it may be, and you're just more comfortability, and it's just gonna be healthier for you to do that. You know?
Mm-hmm. I think what happens too, the problem is that when you have a big ego like that, like you kind of disconnect from whatever it is that you're actually doing. You know what I'm saying? Because the second my ego gets big, then that means when you say some shit that I don't think is right, like that emotional part of me that thinks like I'm bigger is gonna start like getting like in the way, and then I'm
Mm-hmm.
not actually listening to you anymore. You know, and
Yeah.
then like I'm actually just waiting for you to stop talking so then I could say like my rebuttal or whatever. But like we're not actually having a conversation where we're truly connecting, trying to understand each other. You know what I'm saying? Because like
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
end of the day, even if I hang out with someone who is saying a bunch of pessimistic stuff, even if I'm with somebody who's doing a bunch of terrible things, hurting other people, like I could still learn something from being in that environment. I could be like, damn, like there's people like that, or like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you could still
Yeah.
learn from even people who are doing terrible actions. But
Oh yeah.
but if you take someone who's doing something terrible and then you're like, God damn, that person's fucking pilot. Like if you really like, don't get me wrong, it's understandable to be upset. Like, I'm not saying like never be upset,
Yeah.
but like if you could just start perceiving things as information, like, you know,
Yeah.
because like the universe just happens, you don't have control of it. If you
Yeah.
perceive things as information, then you could always end up using that and it cultivates into wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
Like, then you start to
that's
recognize patterns, you start to recognize all these things that no one's recognizing because everyone's in that emotional world, you
yeah.
know?
I feel you on that. I feel like no, I definitely feel you on that because I started doing some stuff like that, like where you say you process things as information and not really like being in the emotion thing, I guess, but realizing like I'm not in that emotion. Why should I let that affect me, right?
Exactly,
Like I
yeah.
am not that person. Why am I letting that affect me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like and being knowing that and letting it process in your head and being like, okay, well, why am I going to let that? You know, why am I letting that? It's an issue that I have to solve on my own. If that is bothering me, there's something wrong that I have to fix on my end because
Exactly.
that is bothering me, you know?
It's
And it's like,
associated to traumatic events, associated to some shit that happened to you. Like there's an association there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. something. But
Cause,
no, I
cause,
feel you on that for
cause
sure.
things that you don't have an emotional association to, like they don't trigger you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But
yeah,
things that trigger something of vulnerability inside of you, like like an insecurity inside of you, like anything that triggers that, there's gonna be that defense mechanism to like, you know what I'm saying? To
yeah,
like try to like pretend like
lock it
you're
down.
you're you're not afraid of it, because
Yeah,
anytime you admit that you're afraid, anytime that you say like, yeah, I was so afraid, it's like it's that quote unquote sign of weakness, like
yeah,
you're making yourself weak. But I think it's being honest with the fact that you're afraid, it's what makes you overcome that fear, and then now you actually become significantly more fearless than most people. You know
yeah.
what I'm
I feel
saying?
like that. I think, bro, like even like admitting that you're scared of that is just being vulnerable, transparent with who you are. Like, say, oh, I'm scared of this, I'm scared of that, I'm scared of this. People now see it, but then they see your demeanor and what how you're doing to overcome it, and
Exactly.
it's like, wow, and it's like that's why you just gotta like that's scary. Sharing information like that, that's a fucking something that's like scary, and not some people are scared of doing that. Of like, oh, I'm scared of this, I'm scared of that, I'm scared of. But if you learn to accept that everyone has fucking fears, but it's just so some like it's not the insecurities of the person, it is that, but at the same time, if you let it known and if you tell that person that information, like, dude, we all have fears, and it's okay to have fears, and it's okay to share them whenever you need to because it's normal. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is normal. It is literally how we're built as humans. And if you accept that vulnerability is something that not everyone can have the same way, be transparent, be communicative, be all that stuff. Not everyone can do it that well, but it all comes with practice and guidance from your friends or whoever may help you, or just you guide yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But being vulnerable is such a big thing to me. I think like that helped me so much. Like help. It's not even like the oversharing things, but it's like the acceptance of like so there's no possible way of being judged.
Mm-hmm.
There's no possible way. It's like
Like no one
being
truly has the right to judge you. Like, I
yeah,
mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if someone does judge you for being completely honest and transparent, like they're fucking fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mhm,
there's something fucked up in their head to not see that like you're being vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Like if you saw some shit though, if you see a baby, if you see a kid that's crying, you never say, "Why the fuck are you crying?" You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, but I'm saying like if you really just like saw some random kid who was crying, like what does 99% of people do? Like, you'll go up to it and like you'll
ask,
help
yeah,
the kid, or like if it's a fucking animal that's injured, like you help something that looks weak. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So it's like, yeah.
We
And
gotta
it's
help
like,
ourselves
yeah,
always.
sometimes it's hard to be vulnerable in front of other people. I think what's probably helped me with like being more vulnerable in front of people is just being vulnerable with myself by myself.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yep,
saying?
yep,
Like being super honest, like having like you told me last time, like you'll have conversations where you just talk to yourself out loud.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like
This morning I did.
exactly, like literally talk to yourself like, man, why do I feel this emotion? Like you have to seriously contemplate it. And then I feel like you seriously have to be humble enough to like change your ambitions, change your aspirations to something
Mhm.
maybe more practical. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Because I feel like sometimes we set up certain goals, but they're not even being practical with who we are.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
It's like there's a certain part where it's just like, yo, like, why are you even wanting to do that? Why is that your particular goal? Like, oh, I need to have a girlfriend, or I need to have a new car. Like, you have to sit and think to yourself, like, why is it that I even have this objective? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like, is
yeah,
it even practical for my life to even give a fuck to have that? Like, for
yeah,
instance, for me, I remember during this time, like this last year and a half, during this time where I've really just been self-reflective, like there
yeah,
was a point where I was just like, man, like it's been 6, 7, 8 months. I haven't really been running much. Like if I want to go to the Olympics, if I want to get into my running career, like I gotta start going for runs.
yeah,
But then I thought to myself, I'm like, what do I really, really, really want? I'm like, what does it really give me to be in front at the Olympics? Like, what does it actually give me?
Yeah.
Like there was no real deep meaning. I'm like, okay, well then, oh shit, I just want to be fucking healthy. You
Yeah.
know, it came down to the fact like I just want to be healthy, you know. And then like if along that journey it just so happens that I get inspired to want to go to the Olympics, like then I'll do that. But like right now I'm pushed against the wall.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna have the ambition to go to the Olympics is unpractical right now. Like I need to just get healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's the like being really honest with yourself part, you know?
Oh yeah. Man, I feel you on that because I'm like, I feel like the Grammys are like the equivalent to the Olympics when it comes to the athlete and the music thing, right?
Yeah.
Like winning a Grammy, like being sitting there and being like, holy shit, I'm here, you know? But it's like, because that's a big deal, even if like there's controversy and politics in that, which there is, it's still such a big thing to say, I have a Grammy, or like, I won a medal at the Olympics, or like, I have this. And not a lot of people, it's really, really hard to say that, you know? So it's like it's the same kind of thing. And it's like, but that's not practical. Or like, why the fuck do I want that? You know, it's like, why do I want that? Like, you know, like there's no reason. Some people who do it, like some people who end up winning them, like didn't even have the intention of that, you know?
Yeah, bro.
Didn't have the intention of winning a freaking Grammy. Like, why the fuck, you know, this piece of thing means I am like, I fucking know my worth. Why do I need that? You know, why, you know, why do I need something to like, but I think if you also break down that mentality too, like, oh, no, like it's also an ego thing and a pride thing, you know, but it's like accepting that this is a sharing thing and share whatever you want to share with the world, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, you know, it's okay.
Like I think if I were to actually go to the Olympics or have any type of like huge stage like that where like the whole world is watching me, and if I were to win some type of accolade that gets like recognition by the masses, like I would probably take that attention and try to convert it into something positive. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying? Like
yeah.
seriously, like think about it. Like the only thing that fame get, like what fame really brings you is attention. Like people's attention is on you, so it's like what can I do, what can I give to people? You know, if people's attention's on me, what can I give them in return? Like something positive. And so I think that's, you know, there's a lot of there's artists out there that do execute on that, you know, like they know that
Yeah.
they have a lot of attention. You know, like I love it. Like the other day my mom was watching like the Latin Grammys, and
Yeah.
there's like this guy who like won an award, and like he gave this awesome speech, you know, like
Yeah.
I forget exactly what it was, but he was just pretty much like giving hope to people and just, you know, just saying all these positive things,
Yeah.
you know, and just like, you know, thanking the production team and thanking all these different people that went into to manifesting this moment,
Mhm,
you
mhm.
know, and like that in itself for me is beautiful because it's like, man, like those are characteristics that like I want to strive to have humility, have kindness, have compassion, you know, because at the end of the day, it's like you were saying, like I could have that moment of I'm fucking proud as fuck for myself. Like I can do that by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I think it's great to be proud of yourself and all your accomplishments. You know, I don't think you have to win the Grammys and, you know, not just
To
celebrate and
be.
not be happy.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't have to flex on that. You know what I'm saying?
Not the flex. Yeah. It's like, the only thing I gotta flex is that I'm happy with myself.
Exactly.
That's my only flex. Like, you know,
Exactly.
I can't really flex that like at this moment, like fully at this moment, but one day, like, I can fully, like, or there's days where I'm like fully with it, you know, like fully like flexing that I'm happy with myself, you know, like there's moments and then there's days that you're not, you know, but I
Hmm.
think it's okay accepting that not every day is going to be the happiest day is something that, because there's emotions and they're there because we have to feel them, you know, like if I feel like running from them and suppressing them is going to create a lot of tension, you know, because
Hmm.
I've been avoiding a lot, honestly, and like I was avoiding a lot of emotions, and I was like, no, 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 that's not okay to feel that. And I legit, like, I cried probably like twice a year, maybe, like
Hmm.
once, twice a year, depending on what it is. And it's not because I can't, like, it's not because I don't want to cry because I'm like a manly guy or anything. No, it's just because I literally cannot. Like I literally cannot, you know. But I feel like um it just there was just one thing that happened. I had a conversation with my brother and it kind of just created this something, and I was like, I felt something, you know. I felt we were talking about a lot of life stuff, and then I just leave and I drive home. And as soon as I walk out the door, I get this feeling, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna come right now. I know it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down in my car, turn it on, just tears, you know, just bawling, and then I drive home crying all the way there, dude. And like I felt like everyone was looking at me. I didn't care though. I was like so what? People are looking at look at me and be like, okay, well this guy's crying. Okay, I wonder what's wrong, you know. But it's like I think that's one thing that I think about now. I definitely didn't suppress that feeling of me wanting to cry. Like if I knew I wanted to cry, I was gonna do it, and I felt better after, you know. But I feel like also another thing is that I was talking about this with somebody that I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about. Like when just because someone doesn't cry doesn't mean they feel that emotion any less.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like just because a certain person cries all the time doesn't mean they feel it any more than another person who isn't
Doesn't cry.
crying. Or
Mm-hmm.
like they could be feeling that emotion like less, and the other person who's quiet and not crying, they probably feel it a lot more. But it's like crying is looked at as such a like weird, like extreme emotion thing, but it's like you can still feel that extreme emotion without crying, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's still normal and it's okay. And it's like it's definitely something that like a lot of people go through that, you know, don't ever like I feel like if you have friends and like people you care about, it's like ask them how they are, like how they actually are. You know, not only when they say they're sad, you know, or like not only when they're crying or like, oh, what's wrong? Oh, like, you know, it's like asking them all the time, you know, and to for them to have like a solid like reaction. Why did my camera shut down?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. You can still hear me though, right?
I can still hear you. Yeah.
Okay, good. But yeah, like for example, just because, like I said, just because a certain person can't cry doesn't mean anything, you know, or they don't cry doesn't mean they're not sad, like, you know?
Yeah, bro. And I think it's it like the actual inability to be able to cry. Like I feel like that in itself is painful. You know, like I think that's actually been one of the things that I've been working on is like actually being comfortable with just crying. You know, and especially
Yeah.
like for me it's even been hard just to cry by myself sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
it's almost like it's like clogged. You know, it's almost like man, the sadness is there, but there's some shit that's depriving my ability to actually be able to just let it out. You know, and
Clock. Yeah.
it's this like, and like the other night I had like an emotional moment with my brother, and like it's like I just kind of let it go. It's almost weird, like it almost felt like it's kind of strange. It's almost like I have to put a little bit of effort to cry. Like it, and I know that sounds very strange, but I feel like that's
Mhm.
almost necessary sometimes, you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember even on the beginning of this like path that I'm on right now,
Yeah.
you know, I was like super selfish for like my whole life. And then
Yeah.
like once I got on this path that I just really wanted to be happy, I was like, man, I never give shit to like anybody. So then I remember I had like one day at work where we all were taking like our lunch break, and I was like, hey guys, like I'm gonna go in Stater Bros. Like, do you guys want anything? And then
Yeah.
like I ended up buying a sandwich for like everybody. And I ended up like I walked in and like I was gonna get a drink for myself. I'm like, oh shit, let me check if they want a drink. And then I
Yeah.
asked them, and then I came back and like I gave like this, there was still like that itchy part of me, like that selfish part of me. I was like, bro, like you're gonna spend your money, like you could save it, you know?
Yeah.
And then, but I was like, nah, like I'm gonna use my conscious effort to overwhelm that subconscious part of me that's like super selfish. And
Yeah.
so like it feels kind of strange, it feels unnatural, but I feel like sometimes you have to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you have to consciously put the effort to practice good things, even if it doesn't feel genuine sometimes,
Hmm.
because like you need to show yourself that it's okay to do it. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. be okay with it. Like, be okay with what you're doing.
Like you might feel fucking fake. Like I feel like I was fake sometimes, but but I'm being serious. Like it
Yeah,
feels
yeah,
fake sometimes because you're so used to never doing it. And I was like conditioned to like, I don't know, just fucking try to save money, try to save money. And I was like, man, I had to let go of that. And then now it just feels natural. Now
yeah,
it feels natural for me to say, hey, yo, like I'll buy that. Like and it feels natural because I think it's like I practiced it long enough and it makes sense from that new like macro perspective that I was telling you about. Like at the end of the day, like none of this is mine. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
This laptop, quote unquote, mine, but like the day I die,
Not mine anymore.
yeah, it's like nothing's ever gonna really belong to me. Like even this physical body will eventually,
Not be mine.
it will not be mine. Like it'll just go to whatever it goes to, and then a billion years from now, my shit's in the fucking soil, and someone else is gonna dig it out, and then they use it, they put it in their fucking museum, and then they have it in the museum, and then eventually those people die, and then there's a big earthquake, and then my fucking skeleton will go into the soil, and then it'll actually degrade, and then the whole fucking planet blows up, the sun blows up, and then everything's just fucking dust, and then like shit was never gonna be mine. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So
Man,
then, so
that's
then
such a
from
crazy thing.
so then like from that perspective, it's like it only makes sense to share. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It only makes sense that if you see someone or like even if someone has their own resources to like buy some shit themselves, like even for the sheer fact that it would make it more fluid for me to say, hey, like I'll just put it on my card,
yeah,
like that in itself is enough reason for me to just buy dinner for like 5 people. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like obviously I'm not saying like if I literally had no money in my bank account, I'm not gonna just do that.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I need to take care of myself, but like if it feels right, like I'm gonna do it just
And
for
if
the
you're
sheer fact,
able,
huh?
and if you're able to.
Yeah, exactly. But like if I'm able to, like I'll do it just for the sheer fact of just making things smoother. And it builds a sense of camaraderie. It builds
Yeah,
it you're loving one another. Like what like and
yeah,
you probably know it's like how awesome does it feel to be able to go eat with a friend? Oh, like I buy like we go get pho, me and you go get pho. And like
yeah,
I buy it for both of us. And then the next
yeah,
time we go out, you're like, oh bro, like let's go to the movies. Like I'll pay for both of us. Like
yeah,
there's something beautiful about that, like the seamless connectivity between us.
yeah. I think it's easy to like. It's the sharing. Honestly, it's about the sharing experience. I think the sharing, like what you're sharing in that moment and where you're gonna be sharing, because you're also being
Exactly.
vulnerable with it too. Like, say with the friend, oh no, dude, you bought this yet? Like, it happens with my friends every weekend. Like, oh, you
Every
have this
weekend.
every week. Like, oh, dude, you bought this yesterday. I'll buy this today. Like, oh, dude, I forgot. And it's like I even forget like what I did or whatever. Because it's such a habit now that I just like
Because you didn't
I
have any
just
expectation. Like you weren't gonna buy it, so then the next day they buy you some shit.
yeah, it's
Right?
like
Yeah.
stuff like that. Cause like, man, and the whole like, it took me a while to like understand this concept, but like the something that I've like one of my friends, he's like older, he was like, yo, you want to go get a beer sometime? Or like go get a beer, like because since things are kind of opening now and everything's kind of getting a lot better and things are looking like up, honestly, and it's kind of making me happy, honestly.
Hell yeah.
And he was like, yo, let's go, let's get some dinner somewhere. And I'm like, I'm actually down, and I think the simple fact of just going out and being in a different setting like that, because we never really been in that setting, like just like that, just felt different, and it felt
Mm-hmm.
good. But yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I'm excited for things to open, honestly, like completely, and how everything's gonna turn out. But
Yeah, bro. You know the vaccine's actually available to us now, right?
oh yeah, I'm actually getting it this Thursday.
Oh shit. I signed up for Wednesday.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. It's
Yeesh.
like Wednesday in the morning. And, I'm getting the Johnson and Johnson.
Me too.
Oh shit.
Where are you
Dude, I'm
getting it?
like, huh?
What location?
It's in Marietta. Cause I'm in
Oh,
Lake Elsinore right
oh,
now, so Marietta's like really close.
wait, where are you?
Lake Elsinore.
That's where you are?
Yeah.
Bro.
You thought I was in Pomona?
Or I thought you were around here somewhere. Like,
No, no. I moved back to my mom's house, which is here in Lake Elsinore, in August of last year. So I've been here, I don't know, like 8 months, 9 months, whatever.
wow.
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy.
Um,
Man.
but yeah, I'm definitely optimistic about the way things are looking. And I mean, the vaccine's already been available for the people who have needed it most.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
essential workers have it. Anybody who is 60 and older had the opportunity to get it already.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely, and then the fact that the Johnson & Johnson is just one dose versus having to take two, like that expedites things and makes it quicker.
Yes. Yes. It's like
Um,
half of my friends already have the vaccine already, so it's like the fact to think about it that way, like man, and just like the fact of like the shit we miss so much is coming back again, and it's like fulfilling us, and it's gonna fulfill us in a way that we were once fulfilled because we lived the whole year of a Great Depression. Like
yeah,
it
over
was
a year, right? I
like
mean,
over a
shit,
year, I
over a
think,
year.
but like things are slowly with patience, like just having patience with it, because I personally missed just simply going like I wasn't really one of those club people or anything, but bro, I kind of miss going to the club, like I kind of just miss being able to just be there at least,
Yeah,
or like just the bar, like I miss being just able to be there,
I feel like just vibing with strangers, like even just that.
Yeah, or like going to shows. I would go to shows like every weekend. Like
Like
if my friends
concerts,
were
you're
all in
saying?
bands, and like I would just go all the time, or just open mics and just like, bro, it was just different. Like it was just that was what made my life beautiful. That was what gave my life a lot of meaning. Like the sharing of like simply connecting with a random stranger in such an honest, vulnerable, transparent way is like that's beautiful to me, honestly.
I feel like
And
you're
like,
like a. I feel like you're definitely like a social butterfly, maybe.
oh, oh dude, I am. I am.
Okay.
I am. I'm like, I just like to be. I don't know. I just like to point out what's obvious. Like what's obvious. Like you like this song, I like this song too. Let's both like this song at the same time. And it's like, wow, dude, you're so like you're nice to me. You're not like weird or anything. Like you're not being like weird. Like let's both like this song and enjoy it. Like stuff like that.
Hmm.
But I'm excited to start. Here's one thing that I've been trying to do, like play shows and stuff, and because for the first time in like a long time, I'm gonna start practicing with like a whole band this Saturday.
Oh shit! Nice.
So it's gonna be pretty intense, and I'm like, dude, I'm so fucking excited. Honestly, like I'm like ridiculously excited because they're gonna be helping me play my songs, and they're all my homies, and they're all just like, and I let them know I'm like, dude, I'm like grateful that you guys even want to play with me, and just just always have gratefulness with me, and I'm like, because I know as much as you may like my songs or whatever, like they may like them, like I also like them because I wrote them or like whatever, there I wouldn't just do it just because I wanted to, or yeah, I could have that too, but just knowing that we're gonna enjoy it, like, and it's gonna be different. We haven't even started it yet, so we don't know what's gonna make us feel. But once we do it, it's like, damn.
Hmm.
And yeah, cause like I'm gonna start practicing now because there's definitely gonna be a lot of stuff lined up soon. So I'm just like definitely trying to prepare for that, like a couple months, ahead of it, and just be ready for that, because I'm trying to feel like a little rock star.
I feel it, bro. Yeah, dude. I'm excited. That's what I told my brother and a few friends. I'm like, honestly, the thing and I've said this a couple times. I'm like, one of the things that excites me the most is just to get together with like all the Pomona people. Like
Yep.
including the people at my brother's house, and just being able to do things just like completely free. Um,
Yeah.
being with like people like you at the art gallery in downtown
Yeah.
Pomona. Um, my track and field cross country friends from Calply Pomona, like seeing my
Mhm.
old coaches from college and high school, and like really just getting together with the people that I love, and just being able to
Mhm.
have those moments with them. And yeah, I'm really interested and excited also just to like, because I feel like everyone's gonna be like a slightly different person, like
Yeah.
I mean, I think, like, I think this pandemic has almost in a way forced everybody to feel some type of pressure to like have to be vulnerable with themselves, like,
Oh yeah.
like, I mean, there was time
Oh
like you
yeah.
couldn't do the things you did before. Like some people could have had like a very consistent lifestyle, like you said, like you'd go to concerts every weekend and like, you'd be with a lot of friends and you're a social
Yeah.
person, and like a lot of that had to change. Like even if
Yeah.
you didn't give a fuck about the virus, like your favorite
Yeah.
restaurant's not open, like the movie theaters weren't open, the concerts weren't going on, like it
Nothing.
it it it, it I feel like it inevitably changed everybody's life at least a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I agree.
so I'm hoping. Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna expect anything from anybody, but it'll be interesting to see what the vibe is, because I think there'll be something will have changed from this whole experience.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I think
I know I'm gonna be way more grateful.
me
Hella
too.
grateful. Like just to be able to be with somebody without a mask and just to give them a hug and have an in-person podcast. Like, fuck,
Oh,
dude.
dude. Oh, man. I think that's gonna be like, it's something that there's gonna be a revival of a lot. It's gonna be the
Mm-hmm.
Roaring Twenties. I think
What is that? Roaring Toys. What
the
happened?
Roaring Twenties, like the 1920s,
What happened?
because the Great Depression and stuff, and like everything happened. But like Roaring Twenties, it's gonna be like our new, like there's gonna be new stuff, like new some like different new. There's gonna be a lot of new music, a lot of new acts coming up, a lot of new fashion, new different things that,
True.
because all that time created a lot of time for people to think about their future, and think
Mm-hmm.
about what they want and think about their ambitions. So it's like, I think that is going to take into consideration when it comes out, when things are like pretty much back to normal. I think it's going to really reflect, and everyone's just going to be extra passionate about things, I think, because it's like, fuck, dude, I have all this burning passion, and like I not doing anything with it because I can't right now. And it's like, just you fucking wait, just you fucking wait. Just y'all wait till like, because man, but it's just being patient with it and being like, okay, well, knowing to have patience with everything that's happening, and it's gonna happen when it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
And there he goes, my
Oh
camera
shit, you're
comes
back.
back. I don't know. I think my camera does that. It just like goes out and it comes back.
It was like what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yeah, pretty whack.
Nah.
I had my butt out the whole time so you couldn't
Did
see
you really? Suppose just twerking and shit.
it. Imagine.
That'd be funny if I could like go back and like I actually was able to get the camera.
Fuck.
It's like I
Dude.
got all that footage.
Fuck. Canceled.
You know what else? Which I'm like, I think. Tell me what you think, but it seems like the idea of being sustainable and like caring about the planet is becoming more cool, too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Like I'm
so.
hoping I'm hoping that trend could continue.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean that's the kind of shit I want to push.
Yeah.
I want to push for self-reflection, happiness, like
Mhm.
just connectivity with nature.
Yeah.
Like, that's what if I could push anything, like at least from my current thought process right now, like my whole push would be to like just get intimate with our environment, with the planet, with ourselves.
Hmm.
That's the thing that I'm gonna push for the rest of my life. You know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think like simply like I may not be the most passionate about it, or like not even the passionate thing, but it's like my habits aren't quite there to like reach that point. But like I think definitely something that I resonate with is just going on hikes, walks, and realizing that these trees, these plants, or like talking to plants, or talking to being out and being like, holy fuck, this like squirrel or this like bird is real, or like all these things are like literally like little souls, like, or like these plants are literally alive, like literally like
Yeah.
they grow just like us, like they just, and it's like realizing that this is the reason why we breathe. This is the reason why it makes our life a part of us, because we literally eat plants and we eat shit that like that, you know. And it's like
Mm-hmm. That
we have to be
connectivity.
grateful. We have to be grateful for that, you know, and be like, thank you, even though they can't fucking hear you, or maybe they can. I don't fucking know. Maybe plants like have their own way to communicate. I don't know, but
True.
just knowing that I breathe because of them and I live because of them, that's I feel like that's a reason to be grateful. I think, you know.
Yeah, and I think being in nature, it almost kind of naturally, it almost not like, because if you look at nature, like some of the characteristics of nature is that, like, nature is not criticizing, like nature is not judging the situation, like nature is simply going through its process of constant, like building and then breaking down. Like it's always going through the cycle.
Yeah,
You have a tree, and it doesn't matter who's under it, it's gonna provide shade.
yeah,
You have a tree, it doesn't matter how fucked up humans are to all the other trees in the world, like it's gonna keep providing oxygen.
yeah,
You have a tree,
dude.
and like it's always growing and evolving in spite of, it can be in the middle of nowhere. Like,
That's
but
a
you
crazy
could think
analogy.
about it, with anything that's in nature, it just kind of goes through the cycle. It's a perfect example of like the yin and the yang. It's
Hmm.
like, you know, th- the sunlight and then the darkness. Like, I think nature teaches you to be accepting of like the change, be accepting of the good, be accepting of the chaos, be accepting of all of it. Cause it's like, it's like, if you think about our bodies, like there's constant chaos within our body. There's constant cells that are being
Yeah,
destroyed. There's constant new cells that are being born. Like, it kind of like, if you kind of dwell in it, like it almost makes sense how, like, a lot of these things are inevitable,
yeah.
because it's in everything you see.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I
yeah.
really do.
What do you think about wrapping up with my last question?
I'm cool with it.
Are you cool with it?
I'm cool with it. Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
What's your message for the human race?
Oh, fuck! I
You did
forgot
this
it.
last time, right?
Was it the
Yeah,
same one?
yeah. I think you answered it last time. I think I asked
Fuck!
this
I
about
forgot.
everybody.
Damn. Yeah. Damn. I could have a really long explanation or a really short one. I'll just make it in between.
Okay.
Um. What? Wait. What was the question again? Sorry.
So what's your message for the human race, assuming that pretty much everybody could hear you in spite of the languages, the age? Like, let's just say somehow you can input like data into someone's brain, right?
Okay.
Like, what would you input?
Um.
What would you say to the whole human race right now? You have them
Well.
in front of you.
Um. Be grateful. Um. Of everything around you, of everything that's helped you, of everything that's helping you live. I think I don't know. I think like going back to realizing how special you are, like there's literally no one who will be you ever in the history of forever. No one will ever be you, have the same little things you do. Like you are actually your own individual and can be yourself. Like you are you. No one can be you, and the potential that you may have to achieve whatever you want, you have that with you. There's love being carried with it. There's everything around, I think. But yeah, definitely having the individuality and realizing, yeah, that you literally can do anything you want. Like anything. Um, but yeah, that's all I can say for right now at this moment.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jared. Honestly, I had a really great time. I really
Me too.
appreciate you for taking the time to do this. This
Yes.
was your second time, and I'm
Yeah.
sure for the third time we'll probably be able to do an in-person podcast.
I'm down. Honestly,
That should be
that
sick, right?
I felt a different like I feel like I was in a different like mental space this time for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
That's the so cool part about doing these podcasts with like guests that come back, because it's like, you know, like these podcasts that we're doing, like they're not just up for today, tomorrow. Like they're gonna be up for like, I don't know, as long as the internet exists. So it's like, if you think about it, like Jared right now, like when you're like 30, 40, you can go back to this podcast and be like, yo, let me
Ooh,
see.
that is so scary,
Like
dude.
I'm serious, dude. Like when, like that's the so cool thing about podcasting is it's like, you know, we didn't just talk for 2 minutes, 1 minute. Like this is like an hour or something recorded conversation with visuals, bro. With
Wow.
visuals, you drinking your cranberry, you having the Bob Marley in the back, the acoustic. You know, saying like your whole setup right there, this whole moment in time is being recorded. And 15, 20 years from now, you'll be able to go back on YouTube and watch this video and you're gonna be
Wow.
like, God damn, you know.
That is such a scary
And
thing.
let's say you come on the podcast like 10 times, like, you know, like you're gonna see yourself, wow, like, oh man, that first podcast I did versus that eighth podcast, like, wow, like, you know, Jared's in a different place, you know. Like
It's
it's
a
really
scary
cool.
thing. It's a scary
You can
thing.
share you can share it with everybody.
I
This will be
will.
a part of your legacy.
I'm down. I'm excited.
All right, brother. I'm ending this recording and then I'll officially say bye to you.
All right, for sure.